will be getting measurable snow by the end of the morning. It will continue throughout in the Georgia.
All right, guys, you saw that. It's a snow day. I would yell it louder, but my wife and kid are still sleeping. It's early, but you know what this means. We got to call Rod Father, the Rod Ripper Jake, the Rod Father, and see if we can beat this storm and do some ice fishing. So, we're actually going to fish. I know you guys have been waiting for it. It's going to happen. All right, guys, Rod Rippers, ice fishing finally. We're out here. We are sitting next to the pond. It's a little cold, obviously, but that's great for the ice.
It's true.
But we're going to sit inside before we go out there and freeze our butts off, and we're going to give you guys what we do safety-wise first. Anytime you're going on the ice, especially if you're a first-timer, you need to make sure you take as much precaution as possible, especially when the weather's cold. If you get wet at all, super dangerous, or going under the ice is obviously extremely dangerous. So what we do to prepare, couple things. This ice suit I have on is it's like a flotation device pretty much. It has built-in floats. So if I was to fall through, the suit would help me float. Jake, what do you got going on?
So I don't have the flotation suit just yet. So I'm going to go, I got out back, I got a life jacket. I'm going to throw a life jacket on just in case. And then I also got the Fraybill picks that actually go through your coat. And then there's two little handles, like ski handles. So if you do happen to fall through, you can reach out and then you can pull yourself on the ice without slipping. But number one, above everything, is definitely the buddy system. You got to go with a couple of people. You got to be safe. You got to have flotation devices, especially early in the season. You just got to be super careful with it. And when in doubt, if you pound a hole or two close to shore where you know it's a foot or two deep. And when in doubt, if you don't feel good about it, follow your gut instinct. Go home, play some video games, drink some hot cocoa. I don't know, do something like watch some movies or something like that. But when in doubt, you could sit it out.
And we also have rope for the buddy system, just in case. So one of us is going to walk out there first. We're going to use a spud bar, which is just a straight iron weighted bar. It's supposed to be, the one we have is actually heavier. So this one might be off the regulations. It's probably going to be thicker for us. But one punch, if it goes through, like with a little bit of resistance, is usually an inch. 2 punches is 2 inches, and you guys get the deal. Also, like Jake said a little bit, the way we chose our location. So if you look right here, we're at a tiny farm pond, which is good because the smaller ponds are going to freeze a lot faster. It's going to be thicker ice than if you were to go to a bigger pond or a lake or any bigger body of water. Definitely want to stay away from the rivers at the beginning with the moving water. But we also chose a spot we can pull right up next to. So if something did happen, we can easily hop in the truck and warm up. And then we pulled up to a spot of the pond that we know is like 1 foot to 3 foot deep for like 15 yards out there. So we can easily check the ice. And if something did happen, we're not gonna fall all the way through. I'm only gonna go up to my knees. And then we'll check you out here and we'll use the spud bar and show you how to do that. And then hopefully get set up and do some fishing.
That's right, stay tuned.
All right, as you can see, we have our handy dandy spud bar. It's seen some better days. You can see my dad uses this for multiple purposes. But this is pretty heavy and you just kind of want to let the bar do the work. Honestly, late winter, like we have right now, which our ice hasn't frozen a ton, usually the edge is going to be your thinnest once you've had a good freeze, but you're just going to kind of let the bar drop. So that's a good sign. Okay, so I'm just kind of casually going. I want to punch out in front of me. Once you feel like you're out here a little bit, oh, like that wasn't good. So I'm gonna guess that's probably 2 inches. That's not good news for our fishing today. And we also had a crack go across there. That's a little better. Okay, so that's more like 3 inches. Guys, I'm gonna guess that's 2 inches. But we're gonna get a little risky because I have a buddy. You know, would you guys enjoy it if I went through? We'd probably get a lot of hits. Well, definitely not a day to get the hut out and set up a bunch of gear, but maybe thick enough where we could cruise close to the edge as long as we have a buddy. So we'll see what we decide here. But that's a spud bar, safety first. All right, guys, we are gonna do it just a little bit, but we're still being smart. We are staying in this back bay. We decided to come over here. The deepest spot in this little channel is like 3 to 4 feet. And then like at 3 feet, you're gonna hit mushy mud and then it goes through. We shoved the spud bar down to double check it, but we've been fishing here a long time, so we know how the depth. And we're gonna stick back here just because the ice isn't perfect. It's not totally safe where we feel safe enough to go out in the middle, and we're definitely not gonna get the hut out today. We're just traveling light. As you can see, Roderick for Jake there, getting ready. He's just bringing the poles, a little bit of tackle, and we got a bunch of holes punched right out to the edge of this, going down. This does change it though. Hopefully we can pick up a bass, maybe some bluegill. We were hoping to go for crappie today. This pond does have some sweet crappie in it, but the crappie are usually in the deepest part of the pond suspended. So today we're gonna mix it up, but hopefully we get on a fish for you and we'll tune in a sec. Okay guys, first fish of 2020. It took a little bit of time, as you can see. We came out on the edge of the bay. Back there we weren't getting a ton of marks. We got a few, but I'm gonna guess they were pretty small. We haven't had any cracking or anything, so we're being cautious. As you can see, we're keeping our space. Jake's a little scared to get close to me. We're not the smallest guys, so we don't want to get too close. But nice little bluegill came on. I'm just using a plastic right now. We didn't get wax worms. That would probably help, but just a little. This is a frostbite. The snot bullet, I think is what it's called, is the color. And then just on a little tungsten jig. But he came up off the bottom on the Vexlar. It's been pretty slow, but we finally got one. Hopefully it turns on, and then we'll get some hook sets in there for you.
Yeah, I was kind of talking to the viewers a little bit about the Vexlar. Obviously, this is like playing video games. It's kind of fun, but you got your marks, and right now we're set on 10 feet. So you can see up above, we got some fish that we're marking 1 to 2. There's quite a bit of action going on. Basically, you got some good fish bait going on there. We're taking a look. They're interested.
They're being a little finicky today.
Talk to viewers about what we got going on there.
All right, guys, so if you can see the flasher, it's set on 10 feet right now because we're in 9.4 feet. So this is the top of the water column. This red line, that yellow, that separation, that's a fish looking at Jake's jig right now. So if you see Jake jig, there's his jig popping up, and that's a fish sitting right on him. There's 2 fish down there, so hopefully he gets bit here in a sec. But this is bottom right there. You can see there's 2 fish down there playing. This right here, sometimes you get interference. We've cleared it up a couple times. It could be some small crappie cruising. They're usually suspended. Those are pretty high in the water column, but they've been chasing us moving up and down. So we're gonna guess it's small fish, some of your small bait fish, bluegill, crappie, just swimming. We messed with them for a little bit, couldn't get them to bite, but Jake's got one right on him. Playing down there. So like we said, with the Vexlar, now that I have a Vexlar, ice fishing without one is hard because you're just sitting there jigging, waiting for something to bite, and it can be slow. But I never used to think about it. Now that I got a Vexlar last year, it would be extremely hard to do without.
And without, your best bet, I did it for a long time, your best bet's find the bottom, and then you're gonna come just off the bottom. And I like the dead stick, so that way the bait just sits still. And then if you have a sensitive rod tip, you can really see it when you see the little nibble and it starts to hit. And that's where you can try to set it and take a shot on the fish. Because a lot of times when you're ice fishing, they're not gonna just hammer it. A lot of times they're just kind of nipping at it. So you wanna take your chances whenever you do, and you get a better feel for it as we go. Today they're kind of slow. Hopefully they'll heat up here in a little bit, but we gotta get a feel for the fish and how they're biting. So.
And sometimes even, which today we got to jig a little harder because we didn't bring live bait. If you have live bait and you let it sit there, a lot of times they'll just suck it in and sit there a little bit, and you'll barely move your rod at all, and you'll see the tip go down, and then that's when we give her a yank. You want to try the other bait? Maybe see if they go for it? So this is bait tactic switch, classic.
Classic switch.
We couldn't get him to go. Jake was using, as you can see, we've got a little glow jig, and we got a little crappie niblet on there, the scent he was talking about. Trying to get him interested because we didn't get live bait today. And now he's throwing down the little snot bullet that I was using, which is just a plastic scented jig. Those were frostbite again. But we're gonna see if we can't get a hook set on here.
A few of them if you can see, I'm dropping it down. And I see that the flashes they're interested. They take a look at it as it's falling, which is always kind of fun to watch the fish move around. Let's see if we can pull some off the bottom here.
All right.
So we got one interested.
So he's at the bottom, coming up. That thing is chasing him. He's about to get a hook set. And oh shoot, he had him. And I just fell. But so we got a bite there. You guys saw the tension at the beginning. Hopefully you can see that in the video. But it did load up. We'll see if he can get him. He's dropping back down. Oh, he's right there.
Pressure's on.
He's gonna do it again.
He's right there, right at the bottom.
He's gonna wick it again.
A little jig action.
And a lot of times on the jig, that might be the first time you know it actually bit. Because like he said, they'll bite so light. So when you go to jig it, you might feel the weight then, and they could have had it a little while. So throwing in a little jig there every once in a while. As long as you're not too aggressive where you don't scare the fish away, but a little jig can check and see if you got one on or not.
I visibly see this fish. He's interested. He's looking.
He's sitting right there.
They're just a little funny today.
I don't know what to show you guys. Do I show you the Vexlar or do I show you Jake's hook set? Hopefully coming here shortly. Guys, I don't know if you knew this, but ice is slippery. It's hard to, really having trouble staying stationary here.
And we have, we'd always recommend the crimp-ons. They go on the bottom of your shoes. So you have good traction. They're basically little spikes. Alex and I both forgot ours today. So
we both forgot ours.
We're out here skating. We thought we'd be inside of a hut.
I forgot my clip for the GoPro. So we've been doing everything off the phone today because I don't feel like carrying around the GoPro. We forgot a few things, but it's the first outing, first 2020 outing. We're really going to fine tune stuff, guys.
That's why they call it fishing,
not catching. Guys, it is freezing out here. I'm just kind of taking a look. I'm really getting a blow. This is an ice fishing tactic used by ancient ice fishermen. When you come in here and when you're freezing your hiney off, sometimes you just gotta lay on the ice, really become one with the weather and the ice, and you just move. And pretty soon, you don't even think about it. You just get a little shimmy. It's almost warm. But, guys, I don't know how much longer we're gonna make it. We're really gonna try and get Jake on a fish. His comment in that first video, when he was like, you can be the judge of who catches the more fish, the most fish, the biggest, okay? Obviously, taking the toll today, I'm giving him a breather, trying to let him catch up. I'm up 1-0. Last year, I remember it probably took Jake 2-3 months to get his first fish in 2019, so we'll see how long it takes this time. But we're gonna, I'm really trying to bear the weather for him. He just takes a little longer. He'll get there though. Stay tuned.